Okay, all right. So this will be the first topic, for the intro to cloud computing. So we are going to look at what cloud computing is. We will look at the benefits that it brings. Then we will look at what we call a service model, all right? What service models in cloud computing, and then we'll look at the cloud deployments models as well. We also look at um, some key takeaways after the lesson. Okay, so that will be it for the introduction. It will just give us a fair idea of what the cloud is about. So when we say the cloud, what is it? Okay, is it something that we say it is in the sky? Just as some people think. Myself, before I got into cloud, I thought probably cloud computing is basically, satellites that has been launched into the cloud. All right. But at the end of the lesson, we should know what it is, and then we should actually clear the conception or the misconception about it, and then get to also appreciate it better. All right. So we ask what is cloud computing. Now, when you look at the definition, it says it's a delivery of compute services. So talk of servers, talk of storage, talk of databases, talk of networking, talk of software, talk of analytics, and then even business intelligence, right, over the internet. So the fact that these services are delivered over the internet is what we refer to as cloud. And then they offer what we call fast innovation. They offer what we call flexible resources. I call it disposable resources. We'll get to know this or understand this in future lessons that we will take, and it provides what we call economies of scale. Now, let me explain what economies of scale is. So I think we all grew up to what we call uh, let's say buy two get one free, buy three get one free kind of thing. Or when you go to the markets, you are able to bargain on price based on the quantity that you are buying. So it's like the more you buy, the lesser you pay. Okay, so if something is going out for 10 cities for one, but they are saying that okay, if you are buying three, then I'll give it
Buy
to you.
one get
Yes,
one free.
yes, exactly. So I'll give it to you for 7 cities or something. All right. So we call that economies of scale. So the more people are buying, the lesser your production costs. So you get to sell it for less expensive or for more affordable prices. All right. So that is what's one of the things that comes with cloud computing, because since the more people move to the cloud, the lesser it costs for production. Because if I'm buying one server and it is selling for 1,000 USD, and I can get 1,000 people to use the same service, then I can actually, charge them $1 each, isn't it? So that is economies of scale. The lesser people use, the expensive it becomes. The more people use, the cheaper it becomes. All right. So basically, it's cloud computing is just like, okay, a group of people sat down to see that, listen, for people to actually set up their data centers, all right, or to host their web servers or to host their applications online, they need what we call a data center. What are data centers? It's just made up of computers, all right? I'll open my browser here. Give me a moment. Okay. Can you see my browser? Your mic is muted.
Uh,
Yes.
it's not
Yes.
it's not showing.
All right. So if we say data centers, this is basically how a data center. Okay, your network is breaking a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. The weather is very cloudy and a bit windy, so my
Oh,
network is really not that stable like the last time.
okay, sorry. All right. So when we say a data center, it's basically a
But I can
building.
hear everything you are saying. Just that once in a while,
It breaks a bit, yeah. Okay. Is Can you hear me? Can I move on? Your mic is muted. Yeah, Mike, can I move on?
Yes, please, you can move on.
All right, sure. Okay, so when we say data centers, this is what we oh, okay, this is what we call data centers. Okay, so it's just a physical building with servers, right? So for servers are kind of high spec computers, right? These doesn't come with monitors like what we have, all right? Then they are not like our laptops. Okay, they have what you call they have small form factors. That means that they are smaller, so you can fit in like multiple servers in what we call a rack and stack. So these are racks. Okay, let me see. Yes, so these are racks, all right, that we fit servers are fit in. So basically, for a company like Netflix, if they want to host whatever they do, they need something like this. Okay, they set up a room full of servers and then with high storage specs, okay, to deliver whatever they are delivering online. Okay, but cloud says that okay, let me take that burden from you. I will now set up all these data centers for you, physical data centers for you like this. All you need to do is I'll provide you with a platform. So this is I will show you this. I will show you this when we get to AWS. All right. Yes, so I will just give you a platform where you can actually uh, provision these things, or I mean, provision your infrastructure, your data center as just softwares. Okay, so you can just go to the cloud, provision a server there, and then whatever you want to host, if it is an application, you just upload your application code onto that server, and then that is it. Your server is running. Okay, so cloud came to take that burden off you. So they are physical data centers that are hosted elsewhere. All right. But with AWS like this, they are discrete places, so nobody knows it. According to them, even a staff, the AWS staffs don't know where these servers are hosted. That is what they are saying. All right. So it takes the burden of companies actually managing these physical servers, or getting to get a physical place and then put all these servers there. It takes all the burdens from them. And then, they get to offer these things as mere softwares. Okay. Now, what it also brings is that, so we are looking at the benefits that it brings. All right. So it is cost efficient, which means that you only pay for what you use. So normally, if you want to set up a data center first, apart from the physical place, you have to go and buy these servers upfront. All right. You have to even guess what we call capacity, because if you are hosting a web server, so the Netflix example like this, they are going to host like a warehouse for movies. So they need a storage of a very big size, and you can't even predict. All right. And you ask yourself that, can you even have a server with that physical storage, like that very big physical storage? That is not possible, isn't it? So, cloud has made it like possible for you to actually use and then pay for what you only use. Okay. If you look at my console, if I show you this, let me go to bills. All right, and I'll show you something here. Don't worry about this. When we get to AWS, you're going to see all of this all over again. So if I go to my bill, and I think April, I paid some small money. Good. So you see, this is my usage for April. I am charged at the end of the month. I don't have to even pay anything upfront. All right. I am charged at the end of the month for whatever I will whatever I will use. So that is uh, kindly hold on for me. All right. All right, let's move on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay, sure.
you.
Yeah, so as you can see here, I've paid some bills, isn't it? That was for April. And this bill was charged at the end of the month. So I am charged based on my usage, okay? So every usage, everything that I will use will be aggregated, and at the end of the month, I get to pay. So I even if I want to set up a whole data center,
Hello,
I don't actually, yeah,
I can hear
Makian.
you.
Okay. It looks like your network is not helping today. Okay, you can use the chat if you can hear me. All right, whilst I continue. So you get to use for only you get to pay for only what you use, and then even when you use them. All right. So as I said, you don't need a capital. All right. You don't need initial capital to get into the cloud. You just go there and then go and start, provisioning your service. You only pay your bill at the end of the month. So as you can see here, it is end of the month. Currently, whatever I'm using, we are in June. So I've currently not used anything yet. Okay. So my bill is what? Is zero. But if I want to use anything, I can just go in there and then start using it. I don't have to pay anything. All right. I get to pay when I used it, and then I am billed at the end of the month. Okay, so it's cost effective. It is also scalable. Now, scalable in the sense that just in the Netflix scenario that I used, okay. So if you are working for Netflix, you basically don't have to even think of, okay, how much hard disk size do we need? How much memory size do we need? How much processor size do we need? Okay, you don't need to think about that because with cloud, you can just start small and then increase or scale up as and when demand increases. All right, so that is it for scalability. So it's like, okay, let me just start small. All right. So all the services, especially in AWS, we call them elastic, most of them. So when you hear elastic, it means that you are able to expand and then contract it as and when as and when necessary. All right. And then once again, you pay for only what you use. And yes, it is flexible. Anywhere that you find yourself, you are able to actually get access to it. You only need internet. All right, you only need internet. Unlike physical data centers, it is actually you have the restriction. You have to be closer to the data center, or you need to use some VPNs before you can connect. But as far as you have an internet connection, you are able to access every resource that you have. So you are able to access your service everywhere you find yourself. All right, and that is what has actually like sprung up the whole remote work thing. So you don't have to be in America to manage Netflix service. You don't have to be in Disney's premises to manage their service. You can be at your home. As far as you have internet, you are able to manage the service for them because the server itself is hosted on the internet. Okay. And yes, it's reliable because uh, you are guaranteed that the servers are going to be up and then perform towards their utmost capacity. Okay. Because they put in a lot of efforts. They have connected what you call redundant power. So power outages does not affect it. I mean, they have also been built in a way that disaster is not able to even affect it. And even that, there are still recommended ways that these cloud providers give you, all right, or I mean, recommend for you to provision your resources in the sense that it will promote what you call high availability. So in case one resource fails, another resource will be able to replace it. And yes, it is secured because, as I said, even Amazon workers don't even know where their data center is. So that is even the first line of what security. And they've also put in measures that will actually make sure that no third party or any malicious attacks would affect their service. Because if it is being affected, then you get to realize that everything, including clients' data, will be at stake. Okay, and there is the benefit of agility. So it means that you are able to quickly deploy your applications and even deploy your servers in a few minutes, and you don't have to worry again about what infrastructure. So at this moment, if I want to host a website, okay, all I need to do is to come here. We have what we call EC2 instances. When you get to AWS, I'll get to talk about it. I just have to launch, okay, and in just a few clicks, it wouldn't take me up to a minute, okay. I just have to type a name. So this is the name. I have to choose the operating system, and then the instance type. This is about the memory, the CPU, and then everything. Okay, let me just ignore everything here, and then this is basically the hard drive. Okay, and then I can just click on launch instance. Yes, I want to proceed without a key pair. And then if I click this, that is it. I've launched the server. Okay. So if it is a website that I want to host, all I have to do is log in into the web server and then copy my website files onto it. And then that is it. My website can be accessed via the URL that I will provide. So this here, it will be the IP address. Okay, so if I copy the IP address, if I have my website files on them, it will work. That is just in a few minutes. But previously with the traditional one, you have to go and search for a physical server to buy. Configure it with all the firewalls and the security rules that you want to configure. And that can take about 30 days. I mean, a month. It can take days and then months because you have to even just imagine like an organization, right? You have to go and look for vendors. You have to uh, scrutinize what's they called pro forma invoices before finance will even finally agree. You go and get it, you put it in a physical place. They have to connect wires, I mean network cables and everything before they can even set up your web server. But with cloud, in just a couple of minutes, you are able to what provision this without moving a step by just sitting behind your computer. Okay, if I think I don't need it, I can just dispose it. Okay, so I just come here, go to instance state, and then what, terminate it. Immediately I terminate it, it's just like me deleting it. It is gone. Okay, and I don't get to pay any bill. All right, I don't have to pay any bill. So it's like you're able to use what, disposable resources. So it's like you choose, you provision what you need, and then you delete them when you don't need them.
Hello?
Yeah, yes, Michael. Yeah, go ahead.
Then it means that as you created this and then you just yes, as you created and then you deleted. So that, that short period of time.
Okay, I think I got your question. So you want to know, as I created and then deleted it, that short time, I get to pay it. Do I get to pay for it? Well, so I will go into AWS proper and then we'll go into the pricing and everything. But you're actually charged per hour usage. Okay, you are charged per hour usage. So this one that I did, it's not up to an hour. So that's period will be what? I mean, saved there. Another time, if I use it for maybe 10 minutes, it will also add. So they will aggregate my usage and then charge me on an hour rate. So whatever use time that I've used it, it will be aggregated at the end of the month and then will be charged. So let me go to the billing dashboard again. Okay, and then go to bills and then go to April bill. Okay, I can look at the details. So I will search for this, and as you can see, US East. So I was charged for 3 hours usage of a resource called NAT gateway. We are going to look at all of these, all right? A resource called NAT gateway. And then, so you see per hour, and then I use it for 3 hours. So I was charged 0.14 cents. Okay, aside that, and there is something called free tier. We'll get to know all of these things. The rest of them were just free, 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 free. Okay. So that is the beauty of cloud. All right. I mean, in the physical stuff, you have to go and buy this whole server like at that outrageous amount. And then after some time, you realize that you don't need it. You can't do anything with it again. Okay. You can, if maybe you are lucky and then someone wants to buy, then that is fine. But if you don't get a buyer, then that is a cost on you. All right. It becomes a liability. All right. So these are the things that cloud actually like, I mean, cater for or waves of. All right. And then with cloud, you get to there's a sustainability benefits that we get to reduce what the energy consumption and as well as carbon footprint by I mean we get to reduce our carbon footprint because we are leveraging cloud resources. So normally in an organization, you don't need to like have these physical servers there. And they are now going to get generators for backup power and everything. Okay, the resources are stationed somewhere. We only need to use internet. So it's just like having more public transport so that everybody don't have to like buy personal cars. Anytime you want to go anywhere, you can. So maybe one organization has these cars. Anytime you want to go anywhere, you use it. You pay some small fee. You come your house. All right, so that we wouldn't have like a lot of vehicles around. So it's the same thing with cloud. All right, it helps reduces our carbon footprint. So these are the benefits that comes with cloud. If you have any question, you can ask before I move on to the service models.
Oh, I'm good. I'm very good.
Okay, great. So let's look at the service models, right? So in cloud, we have different service models that we um, work with or that we pay attention to. So we have infrastructure as a service, we have platform as a service, and then we have software as a service. Okay. So with infrastructure as a service, this is how the this is how the whole cloud thing is like. So as I said, these are physical service, high performance physical service. Okay. So we have something we call virtualization. I don't know if you've heard of VMware before. All right. So we have a concept in cloud called virtualization. What it means is that you can have one computer and you install what we call a hypervisor on it. Okay. Now that hypervisor will allow you to run multiple operating systems on one computer. So ideally, you have like multiple computers on one computer. That is what hypervisors do. So with infrastructure as a service, you are basically being provided with what we call virtualized computing. Okay, it's in the when you compare it to the traditional computing, it's like, okay, I am giving you, you say you need a computer to work. Okay, so I will rent you the computer, but that means that taking care of the computer, maintaining it, making sure it is secure, relies on you. Okay, all the responsibilities as far as managing the resource is on you, the customer, or the person who came for it. That is what we call infrastructure as a service. Okay. So I'll add this. Okay. I update the note again, and then it's already in the Google Drive. So immediately I update it from here, you should also see. So I'll update it and then add it. Okay. So with infrastructure as a service, what you need to know is that managing the infrastructure in terms of security, in terms of maintenance, in terms of upgrades and everything is still your responsibility. As I said, it's just like those days when we rent bicycles, all right? So if you go for car rentals and then you say that, okay, I only need the car, everything that has to do with the car will manage it. They will give you the car, but you have to make sure that when you are coming back, the car needs to be in shape, just like how you came, for. I mean, just like how you came for it, right? So that is the same thing with infrastructure as a service. So here you provision your own servers, you get to manage them. If you don't need them, you have to delete them yourself. All right, just like how I demonstrated on the console. And then there is platform as a service. So platform as a service says that, listen, I just need something to help my application run. So I don't want to manage any servers. I don't want you to, take responsibility of maintaining whatever it is, the infrastructure and everything. All I need is that I need a platform or a place where my infrastructure will run. So let's use co-working spaces for example. So when you go to co-working spaces, they have desks, so they have computers there for you to work. All right. So you just go there, go and use any of the computers, do whatever you want to do, and then you leave. The next day when you come back, all you want is that these computers are up and running and then you are using them. We can also use internet cafes as an example. So the same thing in the cloud. Let's say you have an application, you have a website that you want to deploy or you want to publish. All right. All you need, there are services in AWS cloud that gives you just the platform. So there, when you go, you don't have to provision servers. So you don't have to go through the process that I went through in creating the server. Okay, all you need is just log on. So there is a service in AWS. Let me just go there. When you get into the details, we'll still look at them, but as I'm talking about it, so let me go there. So example is this one, Lambda. Okay, so when I open it, I don't need to provision anything. So as you can see, this is how the interface looks like. Okay. I don't need to provision any server or what have you. I just have to come here, click on create function. I put my function name. So test function name. All right. And then let's say I want Python. So I just choose Python. All right. And then I'll just create my function. All right. Good. So immediately I created, all I need to do is my internet is also slow. It's about to rain, huh? So let's give it a moment. Good. So as you can see, so all I need to do is if it's an application, all I need to do is what? Load my code. That is it. So whatever is powering it, I don't need to do that. But with infrastructure as code, you have to now provision your own server and then log in into the server. I'll show you how to log in into servers as well. Log in into the server and then you now have to write your code and upload it yourself. But with platform as a service, you only log on to the platform just like this one, and then you create your application code and all you need to do is what? Just deploy it. Okay, you just deploy the code and then that should be it. So as you can see, the deploy is faded out because I have to just think save this. Okay, so immediately I save it. As you can see, now the deploy is what? Is active, then I can just deploy it. And then when I deploy, I mean, there are technologies that goes behind it, how to let your users access them and then everything is there. But this is like for web developers, right? Or application developers. So they only have to just bring their code here, paste it, and then deploy. They don't care the server, whether the server will be off, whether the server needs to be upgraded. The cloud provider will take care of those maintenance. And then we have software as a service. Okay. As for software, you don't care about the code.
A moment.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Or
Yes,
you
I
can
get
you you can
the
use the
platform
chat
as
as well.
the
Mhm.
platform as the service. I get that part. Yes, the platform as a server. I get that part. Where most if I get it wrong, um, all you do is that let's say you need kind of a space to deploy your software
Yes, your software exactly.
as what goes on in the background and stuff. That is not really
Your
your.
problem.
But
Exactly.
the infrastructure part is that they provide you with the virtual computing service
Mm-hmm.
and all that is related. But apart from providing you those kind of stuff, you have to do everything by yourself.
Yes.
The managing it, the deployment, the deploying, the code, everything that has to do with it, you have to do it yourself. Just
Yes.
because. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so is that how the infrastructure is? That they will give you the, like you said, the elastic nature, the intellectual
Hmm.
speed, all of that, and then you have to manage it.
Yes.
I
So,
really want that
okay.
distinction between to be clear.
Okay. Yes. So, infrastructure as a service is this. All right. So let's even look at it's just like as I said, you need computers to work. All right. So when you go, they have a bank of computers, all right, an inventory of computers. So you will go there. Now you now select from what you want. Okay, so I want an i7 computer with let's say 1 TB of hard disk space with let's say a 32 GB RAM. You pick that, you use it for your work. Okay. But as I said, you have to maintain it. If maybe the operating system is outdated and antivirus is outdated, you have to upgrade all of those things. All right. You have to make sure that it is working for you as you want. That is for infrastructure as a service. The cloud, immediately they give you the computer, the provider doesn't care again. And then with platform, when you come, the computer is there. You don't even get to choose the specs. It is there. So you just come on it and then come and work. They have told you that they have the best computer for you to deploy your software. So just come and use it and go. Okay. The next day when you come and then the thing is broken. In fact, when it is broken, you don't even have to know. When you are coming the next day to come and work on it, all you need all you need is that the computer is there and then you are working on it. You understand?
Okay, I
Yeah,
get it. I get now.
good.
I get it
And
now.
yeah, and then with software as a service, for that one, you don't even care about the infrastructure, you don't even care about the code. All you need is that the software is ready for you to use. So just like Microsoft Word, all right, all you need is you need Microsoft Word to do whatever you want to do. All right, you don't care about whatever it is, whether the code is working or not. So just like WhatsApp, all right. So WhatsApp is just like a software as a service. So when the WhatsApp application goes down, you don't care about, I mean, what is making it go down. The other time we heard that Facebook has gone down. We don't care. All you need is that Facebook is up again, and then we are doing whatever we are supposed to do. All right. So in cloud, we have AWS, for example, there is a software called SNS that is used for sending text notifications and as well as emails. All right. There is Amazon Quick Sites that you use for dashboards. Okay. I don't know if you heard of Microsoft Power BI and then Tableau. All right. They use it for data visualization. Yeah. And then there's Salesforce for customer relationship management. There is Google Workspace and then Microsoft at the Office, as for Office 365, you all know, the collection of all.
That's the only thing I'm familiar with. Salesforce.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, these ones are AWS specific softwares. They are not something that's like is widely used stuff. It is when you are using AWS infrastructure, you get to integrate some of these things into your infrastructure. All right. There is Salesforce, there's the Google Workspace application, and then Microsoft Office 365. 365 is just a combination of it's an online version of the Microsoft Office suite. So Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all those things. So Microsoft now has an online version called the Office 365, and then the offline version is the Office suite. All right. So those ones, you don't even know whatever, how the application code was built. And then you don't even have to care about it. All you need is that you come on, you log on, the application is working, and then you use it to do whatever you would want to do. All right. So that is about
Okay.
yes, that's about the service models. Please, is there a question?
Um, Basically, I think the only part is the one that I said, but I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Now, so let's look at
I'm
the.
sure as you move
Mhm.
forward and I get to see the real what actually
Yeah, yeah, yes. So,
I'll really get to appreciate them more.
yeah, sure, sure.
I really get
Yeah,
to appreciate them.
good. Now we look at the deployment models. Okay. So, yes, people want to move to the cloud or want to use cloud infrastructure, but concerns like governance issues, data compliance issues, security issues would depend on the deployment type that you would want to use. Okay. So we look at the public cloud. Okay, the deployment models are three. We have the public cloud, we have the private cloud, and then we have the hybrid cloud. Okay. Now with public cloud, it means that you are going all out on cloud. And then most of the times you get to have you get to share resources with other users. So as I said, the cloud is mainly on virtualizations. All right. It's a virtualized world. So the physical server is there, and there's a hypervisor that gives you the opportunity to launch multiple operating systems on one server. So basically, you are having like multiple computers, virtual computers or logic virtual computers on one physical computers. So if you are going on the public cloud, you are most likely to share one server with other users. You would not know, but that is what it is. So if you launch a resource like the EC2 instance, it is basically on a hypervisor that is sitting on one physical device. So you can do yours, I can do mine, and there is a likelihood that what I have provisioned, so the server I just provisioned and then terminated, and then yours are sitting on the same physical server, but we will not know. But that is what the public cloud looks like. All right. And then with the private cloud, what happens is that you actually have resources dedicated to just you. And most of the times, these things are deployed on premises. But the difference is that you have the cloud provider gets to set up in your on premises, all right, your physical location. So, yes, you want to use the cloud infrastructure, but then you don't want it to stay in the cloud. And most of these things are, it's the government agencies, right? So, like the security agencies, the police, the entire government, because they have like strict data security issues and then strict data compliance issues. So it means that these ones can't afford or can't risk being using the public cloud. So if they want AWS, then AWS will come and set up a physical data center in their physical location for them. All right. That is so that their data, even though their data is being synced to the cloud, but
But
mhm,
if they do, if
yeah,
they do set up a physical data center
mhm,
on their premises,
yeah,
it's in a way, how is it different from the old kind of modules
yeah, exactly.
where you
So
have to still go and get, apart from the fact that they didn't do the setting up themselves?
yes, I
The
mean
whole
it's
idea is the cloud, that
yes,
everything
yes, it's the same.
be in the cloud servers, stuff like that. You only access it over the internet.
Yeah.
But they do set it up for you. How's it different?
Yes, I mean it's the same, but it's a deployment model that is there. So yes, and then there are use cases like that. But the whole thing is that in as much as they are setting up for you, your data is still, I mean, synchronized in the cloud. But the thing is that you have like control over the devices, all right? The physical devices. So in case you need anything, like your connection to your cloud resources are private. You are not using the public, like the entire public thing. All right. But then, as I said, I mean, there are compliance issues, even in the states, there are compliance issues that, I mean, avoid when you go to China like this. China has a private cloud. Okay. It's a private cloud for them alone. You can't deploy. So we will look at regions, we will look at availability zones. You can't deploy resources in some of the regions. It's just dedicated to the Chinese government. And then there's Gulf Cloud, the US Gulf Cloud. It's also for the US government. Okay, so all these things, these are physical data centers that are dedicated to only the US government. So yes, it's a cloud, they call it a cloud deployment model because the cloud provider is the one who come and do the setup for you. Yeah, but it's a deployment that is there. I mean, I also asked the same question,
Okay.
but then there is no answer for it because it's a deployment type, a cloud deployment model that is there. So we only have to appreciate it. That is what happens. All right. And then there is the hybrid cloud. So with hybrid cloud,
All right.
you decide to host some of your resources in the public cloud, and then you decide to host some in your own premises. And then you just decide to synchronize the data in between them. A typical example, yes, still talk about data compliance issues. So just for example, the NIA. Okay, so we know the NIA keeps people's data, all right, especially their national things about their nationality, their biological data, and everything. This data is with them. So what NIA can do is that, okay, let's put our application for registration on the cloud, but the database that was stored people's data will keep it on-prem. Okay, so you only set up a link between what's the cloud server and then the
Okay.
database server on your physical location. So when it comes to the data, you house it on-prem, so you have control over the database server and then its security. But for the application interface that doesn't house any data, it's just an interface for users to get to interact with your applications. That one can be on the cloud. Okay, so it's like you have some of your resources in the public cloud and you have some of the resources in your on-prem. That is a hybrid cloud. So it's like there's just a synchronization between what the two environments. Please, is that clear?
Okay.
Yeah. So that
Fine.
is yeah. So that is it for
Oh
hybrid
yes,
cloud.
I get it. I actually read what I think on the
Your network is breaking again, so I'm not hearing you.
AWS and the where in kind of in a public space, so you have to keep like you're saying on your premise. That one with one so something examples, but I get it.
Yeah, good. So I mean that will be our initiation into the the whole cloud thing. All right. So on our next topic, we'll get into AWS and then get to appreciate everything that we have spoken about. AWS is basically a cloud service provider, okay, that deliver all of these things that I've spoken about through the internet. So when we get to the AWS lecture, we'll get to know some of the services, talk of the compute services, the storage services, and then the networking services that AWS offers. All right. So do you have any question before we get to look at the takeaway points?
Oh no, no,
Okay.
no, no, that's it.
All right.
No.
Yes. So
Uh-huh.
for a takeaway, all we need to know is
Mhm.
that cloud computing is the delivery of computing resources or computing services over the internet. All right. So it's not as if it's in the sky somewhere or they are deployed on satellites. They are actually physical locations. But then these services are what are offered via the internet. And then they offer benefits like cost efficiency, scalability, flexibility, reliability, security, agility, and as well as what sustainability. We've explained these things earlier. And then for infrastructure as a service, it provides all right, so infrastructure as a service provides virtualized computing, storage, and then networking, as well as resources over the internet, and then responsibility with regards to security and then maintenance is on the customer. Power's platform as a service provides a platform for developers to develop their codes, test their codes, and then also deploy applications, and then to another extent, only manage their code and then data on the platform. Then they don't have to worry about what infrastructure provisioning or management. And then software as a service provides a complete access to software applications over the internet. All right. So talk of the WhatsApps, the Facebook, Salesforce, the Google Workspace, they are all software as a service because customers don't have to know about how the application was developed or the infrastructure that powers them. We've also looked at the deployment models, talk of the public cloud, the private cloud, and then the hybrid cloud. The public being uh, you hosting all your resources in the cloud, private cloud being that hosting all your resources on-prem, but then the infrastructure will be set up or provisioned by the cloud provider, and then a hybrid cloud being a combination of what the two. So you have some of your resources in the public cloud, and then you have some of your resources in the private cloud. Right. So these are the things that we need to, appreciate. For introduction, you just have to appreciate what cloud is. When you get to the technology, then we get to, appreciate some of the things that we do. Yeah. Is there anything you want to add or ask?
So the concepts are the same across all the
Yes,
cloud
yes, they are the same.
providers,
Yes. So when you look at the additional
whether
resource,
it's Agile or
yes, whether Azure,
Amazon, it's
yes,
the same for.
yeah. So when you look at the additional resources, you can see that I've added that of Azure. Okay, so you can see what is cloud computing, and there's an Azure link. Let's just even look at it from here. Okay, and as you can see, they are the same. Okay, so the benefit, cost, speed, productivity, reliability, performance, security. And then when you look at the types, you see there's public, private, hybrid. Okay, the cloud services is the same all over. Okay, so serverless, there isn't anything like serverless. It's all, as you can see, it blends into what platform as a service. So because with the whole idea about serverless is that you don't get to manage servers. There are servers, but you don't get to manage them. So that is the concept of platform as a service. So the three main ones are infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and then software as a service. If you read all of these, they get to, they are like, it's just exactly as this one. So the cloud provider handles the setup, capacity planning, server management for you. All right. When you come here is to, you see, you create your applications without worrying about what setting up or managing the underlying infrastructure of service. So it's just the same thing. I don't know why they have added this to this, but it's just the same thing. Okay. Yeah. So the concepts are the same all
Okay.
over. Yeah, all over. So this is from Azure, and then unfortunately I didn't get anything from GCP. That is Google Cloud. When you open the AWS to the same thing. Okay, I don't know why they said who, but it should be what. Right. So the types, you see, is the same thing here. All right. So you can refer to these additional resources for more clarity, but where it's so for just to aid in your own
So,
understanding.
so what makes AWS kind of
Yes, AWS is the leading, they have the greatest market share.
stand if
It,
they are all quite the same?
yes, they are all the same, but AWS has the greatest market share as far as cloud computing is concerned. All right, because it looks like they cover a wide range of, solutions and then services when it comes to, cloud computing as compared to the others. All right, and it tends to be the first in the market. So, people get to use them. So that is it. They are not standard, but they just have the greatest market share.
How long has this whole cloud thing been?
So cloud has actually been in existence for long. Let me see this. Uh, we just got to hear it, all right? I hear it just now because AWS, let me see history of AWS. Some of these things it's not needed. So yeah, so AWS even like, founded in 2005. All right. Let me open this. No, I think they have their history.
So it's like this is like new. I mean, I'm now hearing about it. It's
Uh,
like how?
some of it. Yes, so yes, it was like actually popular around 2005. Uh-huh. Yes. And then AWS launched like in 2006. So they started with this. They started with this. They started
Africa.
with this with no, see Africa. They started with this S3, all right, just for storage. So just like the Dropbox, so it's from that concept, then Dropbox, Google Drive, all those things came about. All right. So they started with storage and then they now said, okay, let's look at how
Okay.
people can manage servers in the cloud. So let's bring what EC2. And then now they have like a lot of solutions as far as cloud is concerned. And then, I mean, hmm,
Okay.
yes, I mean, so to foster your understanding, I've added this projects or assignment, all right? You can start like writing about it. All my students have actually written blogs on these things. Most of it, I mean, so I mean, you can use that as an exercise,
Okay.
yeah, and then publish that. All right. So you create a blog post explaining cloud computing in your own words. So you have to take into consideration all these things that we've talked about, what cloud computing is, the benefits, the models, and then the deployment models. That's basically covers the whole thing. Okay. You can, I mean, find other blogs by people. And these are platforms that, for tech enthusiasts. All right. So dev.to, Medium, and then Hashnode. Okay. So if you're able to write that maybe within the week, you can share the link with me so that I can also have a read on it. Yeah. Okay. So we are building the portfolio
Okay.
like we are building the
So I just have
portfolio
to
like
go to
that.
the site and then
Yeah. So you
sign
can
up like this.
yes, you can just
Yeah.
go there. So let me just open this. You can just go there, sign up, it's free. So it's a dev community. So you just create an account. So you don't have to be on all of them, all right? Just the one that look through the links, the one that's I think the other time I showed you Medium, right? This one. I am actually
Yeah,
on this.
show me one.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am on this. I'm on this one. Sign in. Uh, ah, I have to. I've forgotten the account I used. All right, but I'm on Medium. I am not here. And yes, so any of these will just go there, sign up. The one that you are comfortable with. Just write. You can write, use Microsoft Word to write. When you are done, then you can just come and publish it. All right. Let me just take you through that. Let me log in with dev.to and see. I should have an account. Okay, I see. I see the reason why I need to use this one. Yeah. So Medium. All right. So it's like a blog. So if you want to write, you can just click on write and then you start typing your stuff. Okay. So you put your title, you can do all the formatting that you would want to do. Okay,
Okay.
so you say like can just have your title as what is cloud computing. All right, so you write it as a blog post. Mm. And then so you can bold in this, you can add links, whatever it is, right? So all right, and then you start writing. So you can add pictures, anything that you want to add, you can add them. All right. So these are we call it dividers, and then you can write. Or
Okay.
as I said, you can use Microsoft Word when you are done
Okay. So
writing.
how do I generate the link and
Okay, so
send it to
so
you?
let's say this one like this. When you publish it, okay, and then I didn't add anything. So if I publish now, see the story is being published, so it is published, right? So immediately you publish it, it will give you a pop-up. So you can just copy this link like this, and then you share.
Okay.
Or in case you miss
Okay.
the pop-up,
Okay.
you can just come here, click on this icon, share, and then you copy the link, and then you share it with me.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
all right.
So all those bloggers stuff here
Is it?
is something like this one.
Yes, I mean blogging is just about writing on stuff, all right. But the bloggers that you hear about them, they have their own websites.
Said all those like we hear is a blogger, is a blogger. I'm not really into those kind of media
Uh
spaces, but basically it's like this.
yes, it's basically like this. So if you're a tech blogger, what you can do is
Okay.
these are third party blogs, all right. But you can decide to also have your own blog site, and then you will write your stuff there. So the Amaya or Deborah that you hear their names, or Zion Felix that you hear their names, they have created a website,
Yeah.
and then they choose a niche to be entertainment bloggers. All right. So they blog on their own website and then share their link with them. Okay, so that is the only difference. So I mean you can be a blogger without having like a website. Okay, you can use these
Okay.
and then just
Okay.
set up your own blog, and then you keep writing on them. Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm again if there's
So,
no other cons.
submission date for this one.
I mean, looking at your time, just give me when you can, but at least it should be before uh, the second lecture or topic. All right. So maybe before Saturday.
That is okay. So before Saturday.
Yeah, before Saturday.
Before Saturday. Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
I'll try and get it done.
Yeah, sure.
So
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So if there is no other thing, we'll end here. And then for our next topic, we'll get to look at uh AWS. All right. So that's according to the outline, it's AWS, right?
yeah. It's,
Okay.
yes. AWS service offerings.
Yeah. So we'll look at AWS service offers. All right. Okay. So see you on Saturday. But then, I mean, within the week, even
All right.
through
Senior. Thank you
yes,
so much.
through your writing, if you get to see any new thing and then you need clarification on, I mean, just um send a message to me and I'll get to clarify on some of the things. I mean, the learning is a continuous journey, all right? So through the writing, you might want to fish out for information elsewhere. You get to see something that you need
Uh,
clarification on or something. Just pass it on to me. I'll explain it as well. Yeah.
sure.
All right, sure. I didn't get that.
Once again, thank you very
You're
much.
welcome,
Thank you.
boss. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So, I mean, if you can still see my screen, this is one of my students.
So,
I gave him this assignment to work on. I'm even now coming
I
to,
can see the screen.
yeah, yeah. So you can see this one, hosting a static website on STV bucket. All right. He's one of my students.
Yes.
Yeah, he's Emmanuel Adama. So I actually gave him this assignment to write. Yeah. So all the procedures that he went through to create the static website. I mean, I do this for them to, I mean, to help build your portfolio. So it's like when you are going for that job, you are able to show them that, oh, I've done something before. All right, this is what I have done. That is what I have done. Okay, you need to, one thing about this space is that you have to be like authoritative, as in you have to be a source of information, all right, or a source of education. So if you have been able to do this, then, or if you say you are this, what have you been able to do? All right. So you talk about it. It's just like going to a game center. You have to tell them you have done the stuff before you are able to even get a chance to play. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. All
if
right.
you can play, yes, just do it on this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Michael, we get to meet on the weekends once again. All
Yeah.
right. All right. And then thank you for your time as well.
Okay. Okay.